Who could be on the move or on a new team in 2025? We'll tell you right now on FFT Express. All right. Welcome, everybody. That was a little uncomfortable. I didn't like the way I said that.
I never do. I always like it when you're more enthusiastic with the Express.
Yeah, I don't know. It was sensual. I'm just going to say that. Okay, Dave, you are writing this story. This should be very helpful about players who are free agents, could be cap casualties. This is something that people really need to know right now in dynasty leagues or just football fans, because nobody's doing any drafts right now. But let's start at quarterback. Who are some players that could be off their current team?
All right, so here are the free agents. These are guys that are currently slated to test free agency at the quarterback position. Sam Darnold is at the top of the list. And then that's really as good as the list gets, believe it or not. It's Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Mason Rudolph, Jimmy G, Joe Flacco, Jameis, those types of names. The cap casualty list is much more interesting. I think the Falcons are going to move on from Kirk Cousins. I don't know if the Jets are going to move on from Aaron Rodgers, but if they don't, there's a massive salary cap ramification if they keep him for 2025. The ramification would be both in 25 and 2026. I think Derek Carr possibly could be on the move. Same thing for Geno Smith in Seattle. So a lot of old dudes plus Sam Darnold, who's still just 27 years old.
Do you think Sam Darnold will be a top 12 quarterback anywhere else? Or is this just Minnesota magic?
I think the only other place where it would work is if he's with a head coach who's running the same exact system that O'Connell is in Minnesota. And that's possible. It's always possible that happens. But, I mean, we'd be talking about a desperate team like the Raiders, for example. They're not near the top of the draft, not close enough to get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft, desperate for a new quarterback to come in. I don't know who their offensive coordinator is going to be. They fired Antonio Pierce. And so Darnold could go there. And if it's with a system he's comfortable in, I don't think he'd be quite as good. I don't think he'd be a top 12 quarterback, but he might get drafted. Might be a number 2 quarterback on draft day.
All right. How about running back? What are we looking at there?
So Najee Harris is the headliner among the running backs who are free agents. So is J.K. Dobbins, Aaron Jones. Rico Dowdle's a free agent. There's 3 restricted free agents. It's rare for a restricted free agent to make a move. And one of them, I really should have said 2. So the 2 that I'll say, Jaylen Warren, Jordan Mason. If another team likes them, then they can sign them to a contract, and then their original team would either have to match the contract or wave bye-bye to them. And so we could see a whole new battery in Pittsburgh's backfield. We could see a new backup to Christian McCaffrey in San Francisco. A lot of moving parts there. But those are the running backs who are free agents. Running backs who could be cap casualties. Austin Eckler, the Commanders could save almost $4 million by cutting him. Zach Moss is almost certainly going to get cut. Gus Edwards, Dameon Pierce, Zamir White, maybe Miles Sanders, probably Raheem Mostert. Again, a lot of old guys, but a couple of decent names as far as free agents go. Najee, Dobbins, Jones, Dowdle, and then the restricted free agents of Jaylen Warren and Jordan Mason. Let me give you the name of one other old guy and one other young guy. Nick Chubb is a free agent. It'll be interesting to see how the Browns navigate that. And then Javonte Williams in Denver could be on the road. And he could change teams, and maybe he could rebound after he bottomed out this year.
Boy, if Jaylen Warren just gets the job and Najee Harris is not back on the Steelers, that guy could be a 3rd-round pick.
Could be, but he could also end up sharing and splitting with somebody else. I do think that there was significant hesitancy over the last 2 seasons to give Jaylen Warren feature back work in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah. No, we've been clamoring for it. It just has not happened.
Dude, right. I was clamoring for it like week 1 of 2023.
Quick break here on FFT Express. We'll tell you about the wide receivers and tight ends after this. All right, we're back, Dave. Who are the wide receivers that could be
this is an interesting list. T. Higgins is at the top of it. Obviously, everybody's been following along with the franchise tag and all that in Cincinnati. He's certainly going to be a prize in free agency. Chris Godwin's right behind him. Remember, Godwin's coming back from a dislocated ankle. It's not a ligament tear. As long as that ankle heals fine, maybe he can end up being just as good as he was before the ankle injury itself. in 2024. Some older names, par for the course. It's free agency. Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, a couple of younger guys, and Deontay Johnson and Marquise Brown. Those are the free agents at wide receiver. The cap casualty list, Devontae Adams is the headliner. There's definitely a world where the Jets let him go, save $30 million against the cap. And I would imagine they would do that if Aaron Rodgers isn't coming back. They don't want that duo anymore. Adams, I think, is still capable of playing at a high level. We saw it toward the end of the year with the Jets. Christian Kirk could be a cap casualty. Rashid Shaheed could be a cap casualty. DK Metcalf could be a cap casualty. The Seahawks would save $18 million if they make him a June 1st cut. And then Tyreek Hill, I put him on the list. He would probably have to restructure his contract anyway if he gets traded, but he's certainly a wide receiver who could be on the move.
Boy, Devontae Adams. He's going to be an interesting one. I think I'm probably going to be out on Devontae Adams.
Depends where he goes. If he goes to, if he wants to, rekindle the fires with another one of his former quarterbacks and he goes to New Orleans, yeah, I'm pretty sure no one's going to be real excited to draft Devontae Adams. I don't think anybody will be like so crazy about Devontae Adams that they take him in round 2. But I mean, what if he goes to Buffalo?
Maybe he went 50th overall in the draft we did on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's going to be right around. That's the range of receivers who, they could be good, but you're not real excited to get them. Like, that's the range.
Yeah, one spot ahead of Cortland Sutton. Okay, tight ends.
This list sucks. Zach Ertz is the top free agent tight end. Gesicki's on this list. Juwan Johnson's on this list. I wonder if Tommy Tremble gets some bucks in free agency just because he's a younger free agent tight end and he can move a little bit, not just a blocking guy. Tyler Conklin is on the list. Austin Hooper. The cap casualties are Evan Ingram, Noah Fant, Tyler Higbee, Kelsey and Andrews. I put them on the list because they'd save a lot of money for their teams. But I think if I don't think Kelsey's playing for another team. I think he either retires or he stays in Kansas City. Same thing with Mark Andrews. And then Taysom Hill, he would be an $8 million cap hit, but the Saints would save $10 million if he's designated as a post-June 1st cut. I just don't know if they want to get rid of him. I know he's coming back from a torn ACL. I know he's 57 years old. Whatever. He still manages to dominate near the goal line, wreaks havoc in other people's fantasy stats, but not his own.
Yeah, I remember when Gesicki was on the Dolphins. It was whenever Devontae Parker was out or something like that, or Preston Smith or something. Yeah, that
Smith.
Who the heck was the wide receiver? Was his name Preston?
I think it was Preston Williams. Am I crazy?
Williams. I'm sorry. Whoever that wide receiver was that had like a cup of coffee basically with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Whenever one of those, Preston Williams, whenever one of those guys was out, Gesicki was pretty good. And then obviously whenever T. Higgins was out, Gesicki was great. So I do wonder if there's a spot where he's number 2 on the team in targets and is actually a top 12 guy.
I'd be surprised. I mean, we've seen him land roles and struggle in them with 3 different teams already.
Well, I don't know about struggle.
Right?
He just hasn't been a big fantasy option.
Right.
But,
so I don't know. It would have to be like really the right situation where a coaching staff really trusted him and he managed to not make any mistakes at all.
Well, but look, if it happened with Jonnu Smith, right? Where finally, after now he's on the 14, yeah. Good. He's the only name on that list that I think could qualify. But all right, we're out of here, folks. We'll talk to you tomorrow on FFT Express. See you later, Express. See ya.
No, Express.
Oh no, I like the whispering, but the way I did
it was no. The whisper's weird. Stop whispering.
See ya.
It's weird.